The air in our house was buzzing with a special kind of excitement, the kind that only comes once a year. Tonight was the night of the Myanmar Academy Awards, and for my family, it was more than just a TV show. It was a tradition, a celebration of our culture and our stories. I watched my dad, his brow furrowed in concentration, as he carefully adjusted his long ear. It was a deep emerald green passo, the one he saved for important occasions. He straightened the crisp white of his take-on shirt, a quiet smile playing on his lips. Then, my mum emerged from her room, and it felt like the whole world stopped for a moment. She was wearing a breathtaking Achik Longyi, its intricate waves of color shimmering like a sunset on the Ayaradi River. The silk whispered as she walked a melody of tradition and elegance. Her hair was styled in a classic sadon, adorned with fragrant jasmine flowers. Seeing them together, they looked like movie stars themselves, ready for their own red carpet. I felt a surge of pride, knowing this was my family, and this was our night. Everyone ready. Dad's voice boomed through the house, pulling me from my daze. With a final check in the mirror, we all piled into the car. The city of Yangon was a river of gold as we drove. Street lights blurred into long, beautiful streaks, painting the night with a magical glow. It was as if the city itself was dressed up for the awards. My grandpa, sitting beside me, pointed a weathered finger towards a grand old building. That used to be the Thamada Cinema, he said, his voice thick with nostalgia. Back in my day, we'd line up for hours to see the latest films. We didn't have all this. He gestured to the phone in my hand, just the magic of the big screen. He told us stories of famous actors and actresses from his youth, names that sounded like legends. Wawa Win Shui, Collegian Ni Win, Kin the New. His eyes twinkled as he remembered the laughter, the tears, and the applause that filled those grand old movie halls. His stories weren't just memories. They were living history, connecting our family's past to the excitement of the night ahead. As we navigated the evening traffic, my mum decided it was time for a history lesson. "Do you know when the first Academy Awards were held in Myanmar?" she asked me. I shook my head. "It all started back in 1952, she explained. "It was a way to honor the incredible talent in our film industry, to celebrate the stories that define us." She spoke of the first ever award, a single prize for the best film. Over the years it grew, adding categories for best actor, actress, director, and more. She explained that the award itself, the golden statuette, is called the Pi Thursday Kayite, or People's Choice Award. But everyone knows it as the Academy Award. It represents the pinnacle of achievement for anyone in our film world, she said. It's a symbol of dedication, passion, and the power of storytelling. It was amazing to think about the decades of artists who had dreamed of holding that golden statue, the generations of stories that had been told on screen. The awards felt so much bigger now, not just an event, but a legacy. Even though we were watching from home, our journey continued through the screen. The broadcast began, and suddenly we were transported hundreds of miles away to the capital, Nay Pai Tor. The camera swooped over the magnificent Myanmar International Convention Center, MICC-1. The entrance was a dazzling spectacle. A long plush red carpet stretched out like a royal welcome, flanked by cheering crowds and flashing cameras. The biggest stars of Myanmar cinema were arriving, one by one. The actors looked so handsome in their formal longyears, and the actresses were like goddesses in their glamorous gowns, sparkling with jewels and confidence. They waved to the fans, their smiles lighting up the night. Inside, the hall was a sea of elegance. The stage was breathtaking, dominated by giant golden statues that mirrored the coveted awards themselves. There was a palpable energy in the air, a blend of nervous anticipation and celebratory joy. It was a world of pure glamour, and from our living room we had a front row seat. As I watched the winners go up on stage, their faces a mixture of shock and overwhelming joy, I let my imagination wander. I pictured myself, years from now, walking that same red carpet. I imagined the weight of the golden statue in my hands, the warmth of the stage lights on my face. I would stand at that podium, my heart pounding, and thank my family, my country, for believing in me. In my dream, I wasn't just an actress. I was a storyteller. I wanted to tell the stories of Myanmar that the world had never seen. Stories of our bravery, our kindness, our beautiful landscapes, and our complex history. I wanted to share the tales of the street food vendor with the warmest smile, the fisherman casting his net at dawn on Inal Lake, the young tech innovator in Yangon, changing the future. My dream wasn't just about winning an award, it was about giving a voice to our people and sharing the soul of Myanmar with the entire world through the magic of cinema. The final award was given. The ceremony drew to a close, and the broadcast ended. But the magic lingered in our living room. We switched off the TV, but the images of the night were still bright in our minds. We talked for hours, dissecting the wins, the speeches, the beautiful dresses. Dad praised a young director's bold new style, while Grandpa argued that the classics could never be beaten. Mum was just happy to see so many new and talented faces being recognized. For me, it was more than just a night of entertainment. It was a night of inspiration. Lying in bed later, I thought about all the young filmmakers, writers and actors across the country, all watching the same show, all filled with the same dreams. The Myanmar Academy Awards weren't just about celebrating the past, they were about igniting the future. It was a promise that our stories would continue to be told, shining brighter than ever before. And I knew with all my heart that I wanted to be a part of it. Thank you for watching our family story. If you love cinema and culture, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.